Democrats pulling that apart and forcing the hand of the government or whoever, the SEC, and saying, and am I saying they're going to get off scot? I mean, they're going to do time and do the time they should have? Absolutely not. But the fact that you start hitting them in the pocketbooks like that and exposing these crypto fucking scams and this banana republic money laundering scheme that goes wrong, that hurts them also. I mean, and then Bud Light just scared the shit out of them, but it's a start. That's all I'll say.
He must have got a phone call because he dipped.
Does anybody else use that? What, a Linus app? What y'all's impression of that? I mean, is it helpful?
I don't even know what that is, man. Why don't you explain it to us?
Well, as I understand it, when you sign on to this thing, I mean, it basically kind of grades the company you're buying from on a scale of liberal or conservative. And in other words, it's just a way to give you a heads up on where to funnel your dollars that don't benefit liberal leaning organizations, if you will.
You said it's Lioness? Is that what you said?
Align Us. Yeah, it's Align Us. There was a commercial a while back I remember seeing, and it's this cat that can actually mimic Trump's voice. And it's actually kind of funny when you see this guy talking and it's not Trump talking. But yeah, it's I glanced through it real quick. I haven't had a lot of time to, thumb through it in detail, but that seems to be the premise behind it. Is it just gives you an idea of what companies funnel what where, so your dollars that you're spending for your necessities and what have you aren't going to liberal leaning entities.
Morning, Molly.
Good morning. I was jumping in and you guys were talking about liberal businesses. And I was just wondering if I were to put an online facade that my company was quote unquote liberal, could I then get a loan? And then after I got that loan from these, billionaires, whoever want to, fund a business like that, if I deleted all of that propaganda after the fact, do you think they'd pull it? The funding? Or do you think they wouldn't even notice?
I don't think they could pull it if you spend it already. But yeah, read the fine print of the loan contract. Make sure they can't do that.
Is that discrimination?
Well, it depends on what side of the aisle you stand on, because the double standard in the judiciary, you never know. That kind of depends on how somebody feels today.
I'm being a little sarcastic, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. Just saying.
I know as far as like voting for those that are looking for candidates and stuff, and I know I mentioned this, Bishop and Jeff and them know this, but I the reason I like Open Secrets is because the person who had started this site was looking into the Hillary campaign some years ago, I think 2014, 2015, and seeing that and attaching. I know it always isn't like 1,000% accurate as far as being able to gauge a candidate or who that you believe in, but seeing the donors and seeing some of the people that do support them, I think goes much farther away than going into, I think early in this conversation with somebody going, hey, you should vote for this guy. Oh, okay, go ahead and vote for him because my mom said, or my brother said. but it does kind of help gauge it a little bit.
Are you guys a fan of Vivek Ramaswamy?
I think he's got a lot of great ideas. I think he's early. I think a lot of us would agree. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I think some people would agree he's early in his career with this. But I think Vivek's got some fucking tenacity.
He's got
You see that
balls, is what he has.
2016. You see that 2016 Trump like kind of tenacity where he goes on CNN, he goes anywhere, and he duels it out with the best of them. But at the same time, he sees what's going on with Trump and not a pussy about it, and speaks up for what he sees. Whether you're a Trump fan or not, the fact that he's able to speak up instantly about it, I think he's drawn a lot of Trump support that way.
Is there any truth in the fact that some of his elite education was funded by the Soros Foundation? I mean, I
Yeah,
saw.
that was shot down. So I
Well,
already know what you're speaking of. So they had said that between that and the what we were talking about, the MG, he had actually asked them to retract that because they had said that he was a part of the Soros, that he was a he was a part of a donor percentage where they had helped Doan, and that was about 3 years ago, and to something that he was working on when he was in kind of tech space, and it was a offshoot of a Soros contribution fund, which of course people twisted, and this was from like some years ago. And then of course those that know that he sent a letter asking them to retract his name um, from the climate and the whatever group, which they finally retracted. But
Are you talking about donors to his biotech firm?
it was to his biotech firm. Yeah.
Which was what? What is it called? I don't even know enough about that
I
part.
to be honest, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I don't know what his biotech firm was called.
All right. Well, I mean, that was my red flag, my only red flag, other than we know absolutely nothing about him and he came out of fucking nowhere. And there's like this slight potential that he's a sleeper cell, you know? I mean, that would be
Sounds like
just
somebody
freaking.
back in 2008, doesn't it? Came out of nowhere. I mean, and look what he did.
Hmm.
You mean 2016?
No, I'm
No,
talking,
he's talking about Obama, I think,
about Obama.
right?
Who knew about
Hmm.
Obama before he became president? I sure didn't.
Fucking no one. Well, I'm sure someone knew him, her, whatever. I don't know. What is
Yeah,
he
I
going
know.
to?
I'm from Chicago. He was busy fucking it up over there before he went and ran.
But it was very quiet. In my point, Webb, and America didn't know who Obama was.
Nope, it was very localized.
But he ran for senator as a Kenyan.
No shit.
Yep.
Huh. Fun
I'm
fact.
not saying Vivek's that way. I'm just saying it's kind of
Uh,
funny how these people just pop up out of nowhere.
yeah. I didn't realize how many movies I had seen that had Elon Musk in them before I knew who he even was.
He's he's actually in a lot.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
What's he, an Iron Man and Hangover or something?
I don't know. Antichrist. I don't know. Superstar. Sorry.
I will give Vivek this. I've watched him and I've seen him in a lot of interviews and talking. I have not seen anybody be able to trip him up yet.
I think it's unfair to just
Uh,
compare it with Obama. He's an entrepreneur. Who heard about the plaster guy next door or the guy doing the plumbery? You just Google Vivek and then you look at his bio and his enterprise, and then you educate yourself. It's a good trait.
He sold me when he didn't call us a democracy and actually called us a constitutional republic. And I was like, ooh, who's this sexy motherfucker?
Well, mind you, I'm not like of course I'm voting Trump, but I will say to and the reason I commented on it when you brought up Vivek was the one thing that I will say that did catch my attention, whether he's a viable candidate in the future or not, or has skeletons or whatnot. When they had asked him about Ukraine, the man fucking delivered an answer. He didn't give you a 5 second little spiel about what he's gonna this or that. He gave a pretty viable answer, at least.
Yeah, and people go about how he was like aligning himself with the left for his speech in the past. But you know, when you're dealing with these guys in the social sphere, you have to be like pleasant to them, or they'll just like cancel you because there's like leftist crazy. So in that sense, he has survival skill. I don't think it's necessarily reflected his personal value. Everyone is like changed his view in the past years. I think he's moving his goalposts because he's redefining himself. He's discovering things, and I think it's good because when somebody has a script, then he follows him. He follows the script, and you can tell him like he's fake. But Vivek has been readjusting his view and taking in information, and I think it's a good threat for him. It's a plus.
Well, and if it's a deterrent at all, I mean, then you would have to go back and look at Trump's history, you know, voting or whatever. He voted liberal or Democrat his entire fucking life. So, like, I mean, what are we saying about that?
Exactly.
I
So
don't dislike Trump, so like, I don't want any hate mail, but I
No,
was
the
just pointing that out.
your point is views change. I mean, views change over time. Where we were in the 90s, even the 80s, going to now is, but I mean, at the same time, Tap's old phrase, I mean, a lot of the shit, regardless of who you want to pick, a lot of the stuff is charades, acting. I mean, it's the same song and dance. And unfortunately, the people that just not me, but that work 9 to 5 at Walmart or construction and stuff, it it, it hasn't been much better. It was booming during the Trump administration for a bit, and I think that's why a lot of us want to get back to that. But it's more hardest on us, right?
I do a lot of research. I've looked into who is calling out Vivek, and surprise, it comes mainly from DeSantis people. And no, you have to look at DeSantis. I think he's a good governor, but he's really with the backbencher and the big donors, the people out there that are like with the Intel and Chris Christie. So I'm just very careful about what come out of the DeSantis groom squad. Just be careful and look at DeSantis, what they're saying about Vivek. Also, he's like Vivek is like the competition for DeSantis, and they're really trashing him with stretching and bridging half truth to slander him. I think it's good for a movement to have another entrepreneur like Trump is, because those are real manager and they'll base their decision on data and they'll move forward toward our general like policy that we want to implement. And if there's a wall in front of them, like Trump say, you go about, or you climb it, or you dig under, but you bypass the wall, while somebody following like those donors and agenda, they'll stop at the wall and they'll reinforce it, so and then at the end it's better to have like a people's guy.
Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, so good. Sorry.
No, go, Miss Molly. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you guys listened to Elon's uh, Twitter space with Vivek the other day. It was pretty good.
No, I feel like I listened to Vivek, and I'm hopefully going to be interviewing him soon.
Yeah? What are you going to
And
ask?
I'm going to ask, are you real?
You gotta have them on, Chad.
See, the thing
He's-
is like I try to be real, but like it. I've got two of my other red voice folks in here, Kat and Shell, and they know how hard it is because I mean, if you watch my show for 5 minutes, I've actually booked people and they'll go check out the show and they'll be like, "Yeah, we have other shit going on," and the thing is like unfortunately, it's hard, and I think Vivek is got a lot of talent. I'm very, very impressed with um, the way he's doing things. You can tell he's got a lot of energy. He's very well spoken. You're not going to catch him on a oopsie daisy. He faces things that are thrown at him like he's a Soros guy. He's a pharmaceutical guy. He's a whatever. He's got an answer for it, and it's quick, it's concise, and it's right in your face. There's a whole lot about it, but man, it just seems so damn polished. There's just something there that makes my freak flag go up, and I'm just not sure
You
what that
red
is.
flagging?
I'm past red flag because it's just like, okay, that's cool. It's gone straight to freak flag. Like there's some weird shit going on there, and I just haven't figured it out yet.
I don't want to think that at all because I appreciate what he has to say because he speaks like us, like an intelligent human being. And when he's surrounded by, I mean, the comparison, which is any other politician who is just a mass sea of retard, like, like the prettiest person at like the ugly club.
I get that a lot. It's
Shut up.
really I get what you're saying, but when you've been in the political game, maybe, and I try so hard to look at things from a 30,000 foot and the whole 9 yards because, for instance, I got into it with hardcore with James, somebody last night on Couch's tweet. I literally lost my shit because I am so sick and tired of these elite do the same thing, insanity driven dipshits in the GOP. I want to burn the GOP down. I want to burn it to the
I'll
ground.
bring marshmallows.
What's that?
I'm with you.
But see, the thing is, we have too many people who are like, no, I'm going to take my football home and go home and be an independent. You're not. You're on the sidelines. You are, as an independent, you have no say. You are not in this game any way, shape, or form. And I'm trying to not lose my shit when I hear stupid all the time. And it's just everywhere. And it's not that I'm overtly smart. It's just a lot of people are uninformed. I look at Tap, Jeff, Bishop. I consider these guys are smart as shit. I think they're brilliant. But we have a message problem in the Republican Party. We have a leadership problem in the Republican Party. We have an image problem in the Republican Party, and then we have a collusion problem in the Republican Party. These are a lot of issues. And then when I sit there and I talk about how very easy it is to take over your party, everybody's like, "Cool, I'll see you on 30 Spaces later," and I'm still not going to go to my party. It's like if we don't get off our fucking ass and do something, then you get what you deserve. And ultimately, be it Vivek or anybody else, Trump can't do it by himself. Vivek can't do it by himself. DeSantis is done. The guy's in the toilet. Shut up about him. And they
He
are
is
all
absolutely.
and their people are. I had John Cardillo want me to fly to Florida to fight him. I mean, I'm like, come on, Cardillo, what's up, homie? Settle down. Are you mad, bro? You're mad. You're really mad. I mean, here's John Cardillo's on Newsmax, everything else, and he's out there wanting me, bitch, to fly because I said, are you really calling all Trump people white trash? And is it that important for you because you think that Trump people won't step up to you? Dude, I'm 6 inches taller than you, probably 60 pounds heavier than you, and I plant people like you for a living back in the day. So why are you wanting me to fly to Florida, knock on your door, and plant you in your yard? I don't get it. And the vitriol that comes from Matt Couch just put a thing up about Trump being a leader and we're not doing the DeSantis thing. And he goes, we'll see you in Iowa and New Hampshire. Some asshole had to post, you can't vote in 2 states, dumbass. That's not what he's even saying. But that's the vitriol that comes out of the DeSantis group because you're watching the Hindenburg hit the ground. It's starting to explode and it's going to implode. In their last year, watch this. And I said it yesterday. You watch this debate. You watch this fucking debate that goes down between him and Gavin Newsom. They are going to feed DeSantis to Newsom. They have to. This big stupid debate that means nothing
What the
is
fuck
a
is
way to
Newsom
get
gonna
rid of
have to say?
DeSantis, bring in Youngkin, and to put Newsom at the top of the Democratic ticket.
Yeah, I see this going two ways. Either that, or DeSantis, he learns how to have charisma overnight. Like he's gonna grow a beard.
Just remember, in regards to Vivek or whoever's running for president, if you're dumb enough not to scan your social media 1, 2, 3, 10 times to make sure all bad stuff is removed, then you would never even get very far to begin with. And Vivek is definitely smart enough to have done all that before he even thought about going in the race, or anybody else as smart as Vivek. Thank you.
Well, to Chad, to your point, I don't know if you saw I'm assuming you have the Pat Bet David Rogan podcast, and how Pat was talking about the reaching out to DeSantis, and then comparing it later in the podcast, or reaching out to Vivek or whatever, and then of course he goes into the whole thing about Rogan needing to have Trump on, and but the difference in criteria and having some of the other people that have had Vivek on, and how their camp was like, yeah, got back to him real quick, was swift about it, and how taken back, and I think he even goes in a little later, for those that seen the podcast, where he talks about uh, DeSantis being asked to go on uh, Theo Vaughn, who had asked him, for those that know who Theo Vaughn is, which is kind of a weird dynamic, but to go on and saying, well, gonna need, what are you gonna ask them? How many days are gonna be prepped for that? And that being like, and I kind of understand it to a certain degree, but Vivek being like, yeah, when's the time? And of course my spidey senses tingle, because you're like, Vivek's very polished and very, but at the same time, I do get the kind of, I feel like the marketing campaign and the marketing team for DeSantis has definitely done him a disservice. Whether you're a fan of him or not, I feel like coming out a little bit later, I feel like the whole rollout has been kind of a catastrophe.
Well, it has been a catastrophe, and as far as Vivek doing it, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll do that, I'll do that. He has to. Who the fuck is Vivek?
Yeah.
I mean, he has to do them all. He should be doing people's YouTube cooking shows. I mean, whatever it takes, get out there and get in front of people, because it took me 3 months to figure out how to say his name when I did my show of Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, I would be like, whatever his name is, but now we know his name. That's how you play this game. Really, nobody cares about your politics. Honestly, it's still the back in the day. Like, okay, we're gonna pick a class president, and you're either going to pick the hot chick or the athlete because they're the most popular. It's kind of the same way in a lot of circles, because people don't spend their time that they should in their politics. That's why I have the show that I have. That's why I do more of a blue collar type show. I'm not trying to be a Shapiro. I go out there and say words wrong and do dumb shit because I'm a regular guy. But if you want to get into the weeds about politics and you want to really break it down, I can do that. But the whole thing with Vivek, and in comparison to the monster that is Donald Trump, these guys are looking uphill. That's why I always said Florida was the biggest, and the biggest state for fraud in an election, in the 2020 election, was absolutely 1,000% Florida. Nobody's ever said that. I do. And the reason why is you're telling me Florida that we had the dimple chads and the pregnant chads. Trust me, it was a rough couple of years for me. And then all of a sudden we have the reddest state in the union, along with the first time that every one of their state and national seats are Republican since the first time since Reconstruction. Bullshit. Bullshit. They had to do that to lift DeSantis up as high as possible because the Uniparty already had a hold of him. They needed to put somebody up there that was the super governor when everything else is shit in the United States, and so that they could go after Trump. That's what this whole was. And I can prove the Uniparty's playing into it too, because you can look at Miami and they have their mayor who is very popular with the Hispanic vote, who's running for president. Have you guys seen him on Fox or anything? Nope. Why? Because Florida was dominated by Trump because of the Cuban and Hispanic voting bloc in Miami that's never ever voted Republican. They're trying to put, and that's what they're doing here in South Carolina with Nikki Haley and Tim Scott. You've got Jim Clyburn, the only Democrat we have in this state, which is a large swath of what we call the lowlands and the African American community that Jim Clyburn owns. Jim Clyburn's telling people to go and vote for Tim Scott because we have open primaries.
About Tim Scott, he had like over like 100 or 80 millions dollar injected in his campaign. He's like the fallback for DeSantis when nothing works.
Well,
And
unfortunately, he's probably
Vivek. He's self financing with the grassroots, so he's making a lot more of effort and outreach in that sense.
no, and I agree with you, but whether is Vivek relative? He's relative. He can't.
Yeah. In a sense, also maybe if you have some question about Vivek, look at Perry Johnson. I think he's very adequate candidate. That's not financed by the big donors also, and observe.
Libertarian Perry Johnson.
Yeah.
No, sorry, bye.
Observe always left out of the Fox billboard, and nobody is like propping him because they're scared as shit. Somebody that's coming and going to put quality standard and audit into the feds, and they're scared as bad shit from Perry, So I've
Who's
been
scared of Perry? Explain that. Who's scared of Perry?
Yeah, because of quality control. When you go in government and you quality control all the Fed and the administrative state, that's like hidden and.
Well, Perry Johnson isn't
shadow budget. He's gonna.
What are you talking about?
He's like a bulldozer. He's gonna expose all the shadow budget and everything that's not supposed to be there.
I'm sorry, and just so you know, he's not going to get anywhere near the White House. The fact that you run under a libertarian ticket, you are always going to be somebody that is just jacking up the two-party country that we are in the Democrat and Republican. All these other parties, Perry Johnson. What?
Is what I think Vivek is like has some libertarian tendency, but he's gone to the thorough education, so he looks polished. So in a sense, maybe he's like this libertarian Obama, but like for the people. So maybe it's like the flip of the coin for them. I'm just like, I don't want to get our hopes too high because we've been abused of trust so much, like you say. But at some point, somebody's gonna come out of that school and say, fuck you all hedge funders, and I'm gonna break the place down. And maybe Vivek is that guy. He speak about crypto a little, Bitcoin. You don't want the central bank digital currency, so it's going to be more open source crypto policy. I
Do you
don't know.
live in the United States? I can tell you have an accent. You sound French, but I'm just wondering, do you live here or are you French?
From just north Quebec.
Oh, so you're in
French Republic of Quebec.
Yeah, well, and I would ask you, and I'm glad you're interested in our politics, because we love saying Trudeau's a piece of shit. But it'd be dope if you guys would look into a little further, because I hear what you're saying and it's all lofty and fun, and Vivek is, and that's what we're talking about in those nuances. But until we get a hold of the machine, Vivek, Perry Johnson, and any other numbnuts that want to come out other than a Republican or a Democrat that can get to the top of the ticket isn't going to do shit but you take votes from somebody. So that's kind of how the system works, and its simplicity. we're going to have to get a hold of the machine that you keep talking about. Would be cool if we get a hold of the hedge funders and all of that. But the hedge funders are the ones that are running so much of this with the money that's being integrated into it. And at the end of the day, the only person that's ever really been able to pull the grassroots money from everyday Americans at $25 here and there was, in fact, Donald Trump. And Vivek still, I'm still interested. I look forward to interviewing him, and I want to start asking some questions. If I actually get an interview, it's going to be one I'm going to be very prepped for. I'm going to watch every other interview, and I'm going to try to get inside this guy because something about him is just different, and I want to know if it's real. It could be he
Yeah,
could
I think
get involved, but
it would be
that's
good
where
if a guy like you interview him because you're very outspoken and you have a you know where you're going with this, and I think it will be good. But he's been in a lot of space with civic people. Phenomenology do a lot of space, and she interviewed him. I think we need more precinct commitment and civic involvement, like you say, to take back the GOP because like now it's like going nowhere.
Well, Phenomenology interviewed him, but in my opinion, it was softbally and gay. So I really want to see who the guy is. I want to know if he can, hang some drywall and actually fight. I mean, right now he sounds smart, but I want somebody that's fight. I'm over all these smart dicks from big schools and can sit there and spit out a bunch of bullshit. I want somebody that can go hang out with me in PO, Texas, drink a beer and be able to, or a Dr. Pepper, because Trump doesn't drink, but at the end of the day, be able to talk about real America. I look at Vivek and I think he would probably be better if he could actually resonate with regular Americans. Right now, regular Americans are like, that guy with the cool hair is really smart, and I like how he beats them up on MSNBC. That's all we're getting from him right now. There needs to be more.
He did an interview with Alex Stein. He went on his YouTube channel. It was quite something. So maybe he's a little outspoken, Alex, but he's still not a serious political person. But anyway, he's like a big activist out there. So I think that was interesting that Vivek had the guts to go on Alex Stein.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He'll go anywhere, and he'll do interviews anywhere. But again, if Vivek had the name that DeSantis would, his camp wouldn't let him do half of the interviews he does. He has to go for the gusto right now, or he's going to get ran over. He has no name recognition. It took us all a long time to learn his name. It's going to be interesting to see where Vivek goes from there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna head on out, man. I'm for those that know I'm on night shift, so I'm going on the oil rig here in a couple days. So, hey, I appreciate y'all. Chad, as always, man. Jeff, Bishop, Taff, PO. I saw Cat Hammer just jump in here. I'm pissed. I hopefully maybe you jump in here tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my last day before I go
come in
offshore.
tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah, before I go offshore for about 3 weeks. So love y'all again. Hope you guys have a great morning.
Thanks, Bo. Be safe.
Normally takes like 3 or 4 times him saying he's going to bed before he actually goes to bed. So we'll see.
Well, Punchbowl, the EMS alarm or tones just dropped. I got to run myself. Y'all have a blessed one. Be safe.
Be safe out there, bro.
Yeah. Take it easy, Tex.
I miss those days when those tones went off, man. Shit.
Me too.
Hi. I my internet dropped out, which is why I dipped out before. But I have some like brief information about his biotech company if you want to hear it.
Go for it.
All right. It says the company is called Roivant Sciences, Roivant Sciences. It's a healthcare company. It applies technology to drug development. It builds subsidiary companies called Vants, Vants, that focus on different therapeutic areas. It was founded by Vivek. He stepped down as CEO of that company in 2021, but it doesn't say why. Roivant has 40 investigational drugs in development across its vants, covering areas such as dermatology, immunology, neurology, oncology, and rare diseases. The vants are publicly traded, such as Immunovant and Dermavant, while others are privately held or have partnerships with other pharmaceutical companies. Roivant also develops healthcare technologies through its business unit, Roivant Health. One of its technologies is Datavant, which helps healthcare institutions safely share data. Datavant was merged with Seox to become a $7 billion company in 2021. And then it says another technology is Locavant, which integrates clinical trial data to identify and mitigate risks. It says Roivant went public in 2021 through a merger with a special purpose acquisition company called Montes Archimedes Acquisition Corp. That's a mouthful. The deal valued Roivant at $7.3 billion and raised $611 million for the company. Roivant trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol ROIV. That's all I got so far. Doesn't say much. But why would he step down on the merger, at merger? I mean, is that common?
Well, I think when you grow your company like that, and at some point you sell it, it's like something you see often, and with people are more sometimes interested into doing like startup, and sometimes maybe he did it because some guy that will be buyer and he see an opening in the offering. That would be a question for him directly.
Stepping down,
Yeah,
we're
make a
talking
note.
others, balloon companies, umbrella companies, things like that. I mean, they just shift and go. If he started the company, he built the company, and by stepping down, he's getting mailbox money, if you will. Why not? I don't really put a lot into that in the world of let's. Everybody is really into researching. I think sometimes we get stuck on research that is been important, and it doesn't, because I understand why you asked that, why you step down. It makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, in those larger businesses, once they build it up, they go public, things like that. A lot of times they bring in the placeholders to keep the company going in the right direction, to build it from there, or to scale, i.e. Shark Tank. Companies are like, I'm making $4 million a year, but I want somebody to help me scale. Whatever. There's a litany of reasons why that could happen. Or he could be a complete scumbag, and I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where, like you said, it's a question to be asked for sure.
I agree. Note that in for your interview or whoever's interview.
I've contacted them. They're trying to figure out scheduling, but then they're gonna go look at my shows and they're gonna be like, nah. It happens to me all the time.
Let's see what ROIV is doing on the stock market right now.
Yo, Sabby. Man, there is a lot of pretty ladies in this punch bowl. I just want to say that. Conservative chicks are hot. I love it.
Thank you,
I
Chad.
agree.
Who knew the punch bowl would turn out all of the beautiful chicks? Look down there. I mean, I'm just scrolling like, look at all these pretty ladies. This is awesome.
All the fat feminists are, liberals, so.
They're all over at Cardillo's house, piece of shit.
Did you summon me, Chad? Because I was popping off a tweet at Cardillo at that moment. And I'm like, I heard my name. So I came running.
We're trying to set the fight up, man. I'll fight that punk.
Shit.
Beard Vet said he'd sponsor the whole thing. I talked to Drew Berquist, one of our owners who does all the production, and he knows Cardillo from him being at Newsmax and him being at the Blaze, and he's like, he's all right, man. I just wish he would stop. And I'm like, dude, he just straight up called every MAGA person white trash, and then said that none of them would say it to his face. And I posted to him like, "Are you 5 years old, man? Like, you're really wanting people to fly to wherever your dumb ass is to stomp a mud hole in your ass? Is that really what are you 5 years old?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Bitch," and I'm like, you don't want that.
He said
You just
no, we wouldn't say it to his face. You know what that means, Chad. I'm about to hop on
know.
Punchbowl and make a video real quick.
Well, well, that's the funny part, because Drew was like, because I asked, I said, if I fly to Fort Lauderdale, is it a company expense? And Drew's like, nah, man, let's not do that shit. You're in a lawsuit. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. You know what? Let me ask Ray. Ray's the CEO. I text Ray and showed him the thread, and he goes, fuck that douche. Only if you film it. I'll pay for the whole thing.
Oh my gosh. Can I be the ring girl?
I don't know that it'll happen in a ring. I don't know. He's got
I mean, it
moves. I
doesn't
don't know.
matter. He's the asshole that rents a horse at a country club for which he doesn't belong and drowns his sorrows in a bottle when he gets bodied by any MAGA influencer. So there's that.
Get
Well,
them, Sav. Get
You
them.
know I will, baby
Yeah.
girl.
yeah.
I'll
I mean,
duet you.
look,
How about that?
we have so many dope chicks in this movement that are like real deal. Like a lot of them are in this room. Cat Hammer. I mean, dude, they call her the Hammer for a reason. She's legit. She will slit you from belly button to your throat. And you know, Linz, I know you're out there fighting a lot with the vaccine injured, and then Savvy and Robin V running rooms, AC. You know, Miss Lisa down there, she jumps into rooms. The Happy Republican, or Happy Realist. Sorry, Happy Republican, somebody else. But there's so many of you that are in this game. Miss Rose, it just goes and goes and goes, and that's where General Flynn's always said the women are going to take over, are going to fix this country. They're going to save this country, is actually what he says, and I agree. That's why I wanted to give you all shots. Molly, I don't know you, but I like what you have to say. Miss Gypsy, I mean, this is awesome when we get all these beautiful women to look out there, because sooner or later the donkeys on the left are going to be like, dude, our chicks are ugly as shit. What is going on? The law of attraction is a real thing, and it's all about us looking at our marketing and everything else. But when it comes to dildo, like car dildo, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes it's just like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And some people, you know, I'm not big on violence, but at sometimes people need to be put in their place. And, you know, I would rather do a fight where we actually ring this thing and do it for charity. I'd be more happy to do that. I would do it in a minute. And I don't even need a couple months to get in shape. Let's just get weird. I'm down.
No, all the women that I know that are listening literally wake up every morning and choose violence and fight for America first. And that's just so badass. So badass. But
Fucking
yeah,
A.
now I'm gonna hop down now and make a video for Cardildo. Love y'all.
Love you,
Dabby,
Sav.
make sure you give Thugzilla a shout out. Say that he's looking for a flight.
I will. I got you.
My girl.
Okay.
Chad, I sent you a follow. I don't know why we weren't following each other. That's absurd. Hey, Double Jeffs. How are you guys today? Hey,
That
Tab.
is absurd.
Awesome as always. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here in Daytona. Still haven't made it back to North Carolina yet from our event. So just hanging out with Florida. If anybody's around, hit me up.
Hey, who's all in North Carolina? Jeff and Lynn? Because I just talked to yesterday. I just talked to Mark Robinson's campaign. Man, you guys are looking good right there. You are looking really good. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be, when he ran for lieutenant governor, myself and Jerry Wayne, the guy that went off on Joe Biden at the car plant, is a friend of mine. And we actually stumped for him and went around and gave speeches. So there's a chance I might be closer to the election. I'll be up there in North Carolina traveling with Mark and doing some big 2A speeches and the sort. I keep trying to tell him he needs to run. He needs to get in the list for vice president, but he's really wanting to take Cooper out of there and get North Carolina right. You've got the legislature and the Senate. You just need to get rid of that piece of shit Cooper.
Well, like always in so many other states, Chad, as you know, it's always the cities that bring us down. North Carolina is prominently red. I mean, we're all red-blooded American guys loving America, and it's the damn city dwellers that ruin everything for everybody. So
Well, the beautiful part about that is that you've had a Democrat governor that has given allocations to, say, Charlotte, Raleigh, and the sort. And Mark Robinson has said that the days of Metropolis getting such large influence into the state are over. And he's actually said, "I speak for rural North Carolina." And man, I know Mark. I've sat there, and I'm telling you right now, that is a big man. And I'm not little. I'm not a small person. I mean, you all know that. But when you're sitting at a Mexican restaurant drinking they got them big ass mugs of beer that's like a gallon of beer. He sat there with me and Jerry Wayne and our crew after we did it, and I saw that guy kill 4 of those before dinner get there, and I'm like, I would be naked running down the street singing songs about the heartland. I'm telling you right now, this guy's just sitting there talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, I know." And then he got in a big argument about trains for some reason with Jerry Wayne. I don't know what the hell that was about, but it was funny. He's a good dude, man. Really, really cares about North Carolina.
Yep, I live near Charlotte, so let me know when you're in town.
We'll be out there as soon as we can. That's I like stumping up in North Carolina. The people are real. South Carolina, I've made a lot of enemies here, so they fill the place with enemies, and we got to watch our shit in South Carolina. But North Carolina, it's good. When you're rolling with Mark Robinson, he's a rock star, so it's fun.
well, if you need a place to stay, brother, you're always welcome in my home.
Hoorah! I'm a 3-star bougie bitch, so I'm just saying. I only do 3, not 4. I don't have enough followers for 4. Beer. Cat,
Yeah.
could you tell the Punchbowl? I know that we talk about it all the time, but could you tell the Punchbowl what we got going on this Thursday? Because is Shell still here? Poor lady, she had
No, she had to
No,
board her flight.
she's scooted.
so I'm going to be co-hosting with Kat the Hammer this Thursday, so it's going to be sick. You guys better be there for that space. Go ahead and tell them about it, Kat.
Yeah, we got the outspoken Juanita Broderick's going to be on there, so it should be a very good conversation. She's excited. She's so cute. She's like, "I'm green at this. You got to explain how to do it." And I'm like, "Girl, I got you." But it should be fun. She's so it's not even all about her history with Clinton. That's kind of old news, but I like her. She's like me. She's snarky. I like her snark. So it should be a good conversation.
Juanita was the first finger quotes celebrity to ever share the RVM roundup with one of my clips that went out on Twitter, and she was one of the first celebrities to ever share it. And she said, "This Chad fella is a hoot," and I'll never forget it. And I've given her shit since because she spoke here in Myrtle Beach once, and we have mutual friends in Gene Ho of George Magazine and the sort. And she is. I'm telling you right now, man, you sit there and have a couple. She's old as dirt, but damn it if she's not on top of her points, and she will go straight for the jugular. And I'm really excited that I mean I do all the spaces with Kat and Shell anyway, but to be able to co-host with Kat and have Juanita, because I feel like I know what questions to ask her to get her going, and once you get her going, it's over, and it is a fucking riot. She is really funny. And if you're not following Juanita Broderick just for daily posts, she doesn't post pictures of shit. She doesn't really do a lot of reposts, but just her statements are hilarious. I mean, she is on point, and she pisses the left off like nobody.
Or I like her and I don't even know her.
Oh, Jeff, you have to go follow Juanita Broderick. She says shit daily that just, what are you doing, Juanita? And she doesn't care. She gives 0 shits. She's kind of like Roseanne Barr, but different. But that's the kind of person she is.
I'll like her then.
What is Juanita's at? I may be following her.
I was just trying to find. Hang on.
It's a weird ad. I think it's isn't it ATSEN? It's like a really strange at handle. It doesn't match her name at all.
It's
I'm trying to find it
A-T,
too.
it's A-T-E-N-S-N-U-T.
I had hers. DM me.
A-T-E-N-S-N-U-T. Yeah, she was one of my first follows years ago.
Yeah,
Put that in the DM, Web.
I have to
What?
agree. She has a great Twitter timeline. I love the stuff she even retweets, but her takes on stuff, hilarious.
I want to know why. I've been following Juanita since, like, I don't know, the beginning of time, it feels like, on Twitter. She's absolutely fabulous for her own thoughts, not much for all of her reposting stuff, but she's really great with her just original, put it out there. But I want to know why people on um like all reminders or something like that, or all posts and all tweets. I guess I could do that now, but I mean, I want to know why I'm getting Brian Krasenstein's posts every time I hit refresh, and I don't see hers, and I don't see you guys, and I don't see other posts of people that I follow closely.
That's not how Twitter works.
Yep, you or somebody you follow and look at a lot engaged with a Krasenstein tweet, and thereby it shows up on your page.
And now you know the rest of the story.
And that's the thing
Yep.
that's kind of screwed up in this new algorithm. And tell me if I'm wrong, Tap, and the rest of you nerds. The I don't get it, but apparently now if we go into these Democrat pages and we like, yeah, you suck, and we post that, and we go back and we post something else, that's why they keep showing up in our feed. And it's, if we really think about it, it's kind of dumb because you can't have. I was told by a councilman I respect a long time ago. He's like, Chad, you can't have an argument with yourself. Ignore him, and that makes a lot of sense. And when the worst thing you could ever do, the Krasensteins or any of these other like JoJo and Defiant Dad and all of that, it's amazing. I go in there and I do it too, and because I love clowning JoJo every week, every day, and I'll go in there and say something that's hypocritic to I'm showing their hypocrisy to whatever statement they're making, and I get more followers and more likes and shit like that, which shows me. And if you look at their feed, like JoJo and Defiant Dad, they're making money by Republicans going in there and just lighting them up, just like John Cooper. I mean, that numbnuts is such a Democrat. He moved out of a blue city to move to Florida because so he can afford it with his gay lover. I mean, you can't make this up. And we go there and they post. It triggers us as Republicans to all go in there and crush them. But what it does is it jacks up our feed. I don't know if that's a new thing for Twitter or Elon's trying to show us to ignore them or trust the plan, and I don't know. Everything's a psyop. I'm just trying to keep up, but I'm trying to stop posting to those idiots because I think ultimately, if we all just ignored them, I mean, and the Krasensteins are the ones that put up that they made $15,000 off Twitter. They put up their number that they got paid, and they said thanks, Elon. Like, and I engaged with them, and I've said things, and I'm like, why? All I'm doing is making them rich. That's why they don't care.
Yeah, one brother made 12, one made 15. Last time when they got paid for the 3 or 4 month stretch, it was around 20.
Yeah, they've even argued. I've seen them in an argument back to someone's point about they don't care what you say because they're getting paid for you to say it. So,
And I'm not gonna lie, I've done the same thing where I've got some asshole in my feed, and I usually put up the guy from the strip club GIF, with the money all over the place. I'll be like, "Thanks for the engagement." It's a great dig, but at the same time, I'm humble enough to say I do it too. I'm a little schoolgirl saying no, 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 and smacking them with my trapper keeper. I get it. I get it. It's so dumb, and it's also at the same time kind of fun because I mean, I know everybody in here has gone to a Cranston or JoJo or Defiant Dad and been like, blah 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 blah, send, gotcha. And you're like, it feels good. There's this adrenaline dump and euphoric feeling like I showed you, bitch, and that's where we live in the fake world of Twitter.
Yeah, it's a shame. And everybody's got their eyes on that huge prize. But like I said, I've seen payouts as low as $90. So if you're getting impressions at 5 million and you're going to get $90 a month, I mean, some people are working their ass off to get 3 million. But I pulled up an article today, and UPS drivers, you want to make what the Krasensteins make? Drive for UPS.
100%.
170K a year.
That's at the end of their contract. But what I didn't see in the post for that and links was the length of the contract. Is that after 30 years or is that after 5 years?
Well, it used to be 145 and now it's 170,000. But that's also including benefits, which they usually they're like, oh yeah, the benefits are worth 50 grand, whatever. But still, that's a crazy compensation to be doing the same thing as an Amazon driver.
But does anybody else have a problem with wearing all that brown all day? I just don't want to walk around looking like a big shit emoji. Is that weird? Does anybody else look at their jobs like that? I often look at football players.
For 170K a year, I'll wear pink, hot pink.
Bro.
You could go to OnlyMans like me
Chad,
and make 200,000 and not wear anything.
I'll
Chad,
dress
do
up
you
in the
not
Mary
know
Kay
they have
outfit,
that?
okay?
Hey, Chad, help me start up at OnlyFans. I
Chad, do
need
you
to pay
not know
some
they have
medical
that
bills.
costume?
I got you. It's easy. I don't have an OnlyFans, but it's the same thing. I'm on OnlyMans. Just crock shops.
They have that costume, Chad, for like sex shops. Okay, like if you go into like naughty novelty shops, they literally have the UPS man costume for guys to wear. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't bag on it. Okay.
Well,
Maybe those shops know how much they make, and that's why they're like, yeah, this will work.
or there's a whole bunch of sit-at-home moms that are banging out the UPS driver. Just putting that out there.
Okay, let's just put an end to that one right there. That never happened. Disavow that whole
There's
conversation
a
between the
Hey,
two
I
whole
of
don't
you.
there's a whole genre on Pornhub about it. I'm telling you. Anyway, but I have a firefighter rig, from when I was a fireman. There's nothing like the bunker pants with the suspenders. It works every time. I don't need a
I'll
costume.
get out my naughty nurse outfit, y'all.
See?
It helps to have a wife, Chad.
Capitalism rocks.
Well, talking about UPS, I can't believe we ended up there.
What's an ugly out?
Well, let Jen have a microphone. What did you think was going to
I like it.
happen?
I like it. It's frisky.
And look at
Listen, don't bag on the brown. I'm just saying, it's a real thing out there.
Twice as popular in Germany, I hear.
Did nobody see the meme with like the UPS driver and the USPS driver parking next to each other and hooking up in the UPS truck?
yes.
So it is a thing.
And FedEx is over there just watching.
Well, that's what they do.
And DSL, well, y'all know what DSL stands for.
But where is the FBI van? That's what I want to know.
FBI doesn't use minivans anymore. They use electric Mercedes Sprinters. So usually they're plugged in somewhere because they ran out of juice.
I don't know. The ones here pose as ice cream trucks. I hear them every day going around scanning Wi-Fi signals.
I've named my Wi-Fi Trump 1, fuck off.
That's hilarious because I think KM has a similar one.
I change it all the time because I have a lot of people from Connecticut that live in my neighborhood and they hate me. And for Halloween, I made scary people in my yard that were like 7 foot out of PVC. And I put this 7-foot Trump sign that I got at an event and I put it in my yard and they tried to fine me for putting up political. And I'm like, it's part of my decoration. And I won. And I live next to the airport in Myrtle Beach where they come into land into the international, and I put Trump 2020 on my roof. So when people flew in, they saw it. That made the news. It was cool.
I like that.
I walk the walk, boys and girls. When I say get out there and do something, do something.
You should sunbathe naked on your roof next to the Trump 2020.
You know, I understand where you're going with that, but I have a tile roof and that shit's slick, man. And it's hot. It's really,
I was gonna say it's hot.
I mean, you cook.
Baby oil and all.
Man, it'll smell like straight up bacon up there. No,
Wait. So, Chad, what you're saying is you be a Chad on a hot tin roof.
that's exactly it, Jen.
Yeah. Pictures to prove it.
That's why.
So that you have to subscribe to Only Man's.
Yeah, Only Man's /white or vanilla gorilla.
Why is it always the ladies that push the limits of the Punchbowl?
Vanilla gorilla.
Push the limits. Who was talking about Germany and brown? Come on, bro. I didn't go that far.
Plus, you said respect the brown. I didn't go to the butthole at all on that. That was a setup that I usually would take. And yes, Bishop, the vanilla gorilla was actually my fight name when I used to cage fight.
Wait, aren't you supposed to be going to Florida to stomp somebody or something?
Yeah, I'm working on sponsorships. John Cardillo said, "Come get some, bitch."
You could be the opening fight for the Elon and Zuckerberg fight.
You know what? That would be cool, but I'm afraid Elon might start to get beat up, and I feel like I can't let that opportunity go away. And I'd go in there, and I would just. Have you ever seen like what is it? The Hulk on the new movies where he takes one of the guys by the ankle and just starts slamming him in the ground. I would love to fight. I would love to fight Zuckerberg so bad, and I just don't know if I could sit there and just handle. I think Elon could beat him, but I don't know. Nerds fighting are weird too. I don't know how to handicap that shit.
No, Elon's got a surgery to go through first.
For what?
Not sure. Was it his neck? I just briefly read it.
Robot parts, cyborg parts.
Cyborg parts. So
He's getting his Neuralink updated with Bruce Lee's mental.
Screw Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is now a sponsor on Red Voice, and I talked to that dude. He's awesome.
That's badass. Yeah, one of people who used to come in here a lot, David Harrod. He was a stuntman and actor in Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris. And he said getting kicked in the face by him did not feel so great.
No, he's legit. He's real deal.
So does anybody see this since Feinstein, like if something happens to her, does anybody see the possibility of Gavin Newsom appointing himself to the Senate?
Wait,
That'd be disgusting.
say that again.
Gavin Newsom will have the ability to appoint a senator if she goes out of office, and he could technically appoint himself if he wanted to. Senator Gavin Newsom of California, as opposed to being the governor now.
Yeah, he could, but he's running for president. We should start Only Red and just have hot red conservative chicks in there with videos talking about how Democrats are stupid. I'd subscribe to that shit.
Make them fortune.
Yeah, right. Like for real. And I love this when I do events and stuff, and it's crazy. because I love seeing all these smart, pretty women out there, and we need to figure this out.
Only reds.
Only reds. Boom. That works. Girls, what do we think?
They
Let's
all
do it.
bailed. All of them bailed but Cat.
As long as that doesn't get re-nickname branded to like only rednecks.
Wait, you're right. No, only red. Let them say what they want. All right, okay. I scroll down. There's a whole bunch of ladies down there. There's Happy. There's it's me. There's Robin V, AC, Lisa, Gypsy. All right, Heather J, Rose, Danae, Daisy. All right, we're gonna start only reds. Thumbs up if you're into it. Go.
Domain's already taken.
Shit. The whole domain thing. Look at it's me. She's all in. Rose, what are you doing? Get out from under the cowboy hat and talk to us, damn it. AC's laughing. No thumb. Robin V's in. I knew it. Heather's in. Rose is laughing at her cowboy hat and shit. Lisa just threw up the full fisted. The fisted. All right. Awesome. I think we got a winner. Where's Tap at? Tap. We need a new domain and shit. And only reds. Well, you said that's taken, right?
Yeah, only reds is taken. So what's the name?
Wait, what is it? What now that it's I got to know what it is. What is only reds? Who thought of that? What's on that? I'll go look. Only reds. Is there a .net?
It's parked.
Oh, those dicks. Is there a .net or something? Because we'll probably use a portal anyway.
Oh yeah. There's tons of that stuff available. I mean, I could get only reds.space for 95 cents right now.
Boom. I think we need to add something after reds though, because it's like doesn't say enough. We need to have the gender connotation.
What about moral bitches?
You're just gonna see fully clothed chicks.
No, it's not about porn. It's about the females, the Republican chicks doing videos and out there for. I mean, let your.
That's right, moral bitches.
Yeah, moral bitches. Let's see, moral bitches.
redchicksonly.com.
Yeah, don't degrade yourself with the whole bitches thing.
I would do redsonia.com, but that's Russian. That's not cool right now.
I mean, isn't chicks offensive to women though?
Depends if
Or
what chick you are. There's a lot.
Only if you're liberal.
I'm not ever offended, so I don't know.
I'm not ever offended either.
Only if you put Dixie in front of it.
Yeah, there you go. That'll trigger me.
Those mother cluckers can peck off.
Plus the Republican, they understand the patriarchy. And Republican women know that they're strong and they don't let a word like chicks offend them.
This is bad.
You sent me the reminder to come in here.
Hey, Robin, what's up? Been a while.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Right. So, Chad,
what up, Robin V?
Oh, my bad.
I just wanted to know what hit Chad was going to hit first on Cardildo, like the right or the left. I've just been wondering.
Yeah.
The jawline.
I've never really fought and aimed for a said moob. But, usually when you're looking for angles and ways to fight people and their weaknesses, I know it hurts when a girl's boob gets hit, but I don't know that it hurts so much for a moob.
Do you fight like southpaw or? Like what kind of stance do you normally go for?
Oh, when I'm boxing, I do southpaw, but I switch. I feel like I'm talking about my BDSM right now. I'm a switch. And I'm wacky footed, but I'm also Krav Maga and Jiu-Jitsu, so I may take him to the ground. Jesus, this is going bad. This is going so wrong. Somebody's gonna get this recorded shit. Yeah, I want to take Cardillo to the ground, and I want to tie him up, and I want to brace him. But if I did really, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I was going to say, you could just do the Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren thing.
Let me ask you this. Is it better to knock somebody out or tap them out? I feel like it's better to tap somebody out.
That's breaking their will. But to break their whole spirit all in one fell swoop, that's a whole different thing.
The camel clutch.
I feel like it's better to make them tap because they have, fully realized that they have been found wanting, so I like that option.
Yeah, it's all about submission, right?
Yes.
Nah, when you hit somebody and they just like tense up all straight and then fall over, it's way more entertaining.
There is the
going on what Chad said. I got to tighten you down, buddy. A little.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Torque.
Get that torque wrench on the right setting.
Torque, oh my God.
You know what? I'm pretty lucky. Torque it seems to always be in rooms with me, and I'm always glad I've got that Torque in here to tighten me down because I tend to go off the rail sometimes.
For the record, if anybody wants to open a QAnon version, onlytheplans.com is available.
No, it'd be only plans.
All right, so I sent a screenshot to Chad there in his DMs. We got redchicksonly.com and rightsidecleavage.com.
Right side cleavage, that's kind of strong.
Yeah, I
That's
like
kinda
that one
nice.
too.
I like moral bitches better than cleavage.
Yeah, see, stick to your shit. I love
you
it.
go about and buy that domain and you build that website.
Wait, right side cleavage. That's brilliant.
I love it.
I love
No shit, it's brilliant. I said it.
Well,
Right,
it
Ted.
sounds like a boob job that went wrong.
No, it just sounds like boobs, and men like boobs.
But does it for the ladies that are in the lower alphabet bras, does it bother them? Maybe, I don't know. We want to be inclusive.
That's racist.
But they have water bras and stuff. You can make cleavage out of A's, right?
The message is look here, not there.
So I also have Texas property taxes are higher than joerogan.com. I also have simpsfortulsi.com.
No, tap? Jesus. No.
I have qisalie.com. I have nukes and F-15s.com. Measuringbiden.com. I was going to do something with that one, but I don't want to get audited. I have a bunch of other ones I'm not going to say here because I don't want y'all to know about them.
The Tard series.
The biglyimpeachments.com. I had another one I let expire. It's isbideноncrack.com and then did Biden's son do crack.com. And then also I had another one that was just did Trump win re-election, and people would go to it and I would just be like no, and like header one, and it would just be articles that were like pointing to the election controversy at the time, but that didn't get traction. I have way too many domains. I gotta start acting on these. But check out the punchbowl.space.
You've got some awesome names and concepts, though.
Yeah, I've been building up a skill set. Like when I started off this year, I was intentional about starting to do some stuff, and Punchbowl came along. So this is just gradually building up the portfolio. And Samuel and I also have a public service awareness site that we're building, and hopefully it's going to change the lives of many.
What about republicanmuse.com? Because no man is anybody's muse. Women and their beauty is. Okay.
Chad,
Curbs.
What, Bishop?
Chad, we've got Nancy Pelosi in here. Have you ever heard Nancy Pelosi speak? We actually have her in here.
I have, but I do have a few questions for her.
What's up, Nancy? How are you doing?
I'll allow it. Go ahead, Chad.
Nancy, I've always wanted to know, it always looks like you're either chewing cud or you are trying to extricate a bug from behind your canines. Is it a polydent situation for bad dental program there in Congress, or are you just a oral fetish type chick?
I appreciate the question. Since it is early and this is a recorded space, I will try to keep it as hygienic as possible in here. But I will say that every time I see Michael Obama, I do lose my dentures. That man is very well endowed. And those fuckers, I'm sorry, those, excuse me, those dentures tend to fall off every time he's with me. And in fact, I call him the slugger because he has a baseball bat. And we've all seen it. We've seen it dancing, when he was on Ellen. We've all seen that thing. So, as far as me chewing cud, there's no videos of that. There's no proof of that. So I won't ever admit that that's really what I do. But my oral hygiene is usually put to the test every Friday and Saturday with my swingers clubs that I have at my home. Any kind of random homeless that walks into my home, I always greet them and take off my CCP pap machine and I give them the full torque. I appreciate that torque. That's all I have to say about that. Good morning.
Thank you for that. And so are you the pitcher or the catcher between you and Paul?
Well, I'm never the catcher. He doesn't prefer my kind. He does not like the bonus hole that I have. He actually prefers any kind of man or homeless person that walks in. That's generally his type. I don't even want to be married to the man. I haven't seen him or slept in the same place as he has for decades. So I'm definitely not going at it with him, but I have scissored with Michelle Obama before. Sorry, again, this is early morning. I'm trying to, I'll see myself out.
I wonder how many people had their phone in their pocket and actually had to pull their phone out to see if Nancy was in here.
Robin, we should just go on. We should just go on the road. I'll just ask questions to you and just let you rebel. It was fun.
So little FYI Snapple fact, I have been in a doctor's office before. And I did the drunk Nancy Pelosi and I said some inappropriate things, shock, while in there, and people were like, what's going on? What? And I've had people walk by and I'm just like, Michael Obama is just a big man. And people are like, what the fuck is happening with this lady? So anyhow.
That's it. I'm getting red voice. We got to have a Punchbowl shop party, and we need to get everybody up in that piece, and we just need to film the whole thing and just have fun. Oh, look, Island Bruce up in this piece. He's probably driving around. How you doing? Oh, you don't have a microphone. There's good people in this room, man. I like it. The Punchbowl's growing. Good shit.
Well, I appreciate it. So it's that time. Everybody get outside, enjoy their enjoy the rest of their day, or do whatever you want. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. Appreciate everybody.
Later.
Thank you for the space.
Later, Gators.
Thanks, Robin / Nancy.
Anything for the Punch Bowl.